Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Becca and today we are going to be doing some second-hand book shopping. So I have been wanting to make this video for quite some time now. Back in July I posted my mid-year stats video and there I went through all of my reading stats at the halfway point of the year, including how much money I had spent on books so far at that point in the year and also the average cost of each book that I have acquired over the first half of 2019. Now a lot of you guys were asking me how I managed to find books for so cheap, and so I've had this in my mind for quite some time to make this video where I'm going to go and do some secondhand book shopping and kind of let you know the kind of things that you can pick up secondhand, including things like pretty new release hardbacks or books from hyped series on BookTube. Essentially the possibilities are endless. So before we get into this video, I did want to quickly mention that this video does contain a paid promotion from the wonderful Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning platform that I find incredibly useful as it has over 25,000 classes on a whole range of topics. You can find classes on things like writing, business management and photography on Skillshare, as well as pretty much anything else that you can imagine. Skillshare is great for anybody who is looking to acquire a new skill or brush up on an old one. And as we are approaching the end of the year and the time when we will be making New Year's resolutions, Skillshare may be something that you want to check out if you are planning on learning a new skill or getting back into an old hobby in 2020. So I am a big fan of Skillshare. I do use Skillshare myself. I dip in and out of all sorts of topics, but one of the things that I'm looking into at the minute is video editing, because as you guys may know, I am currently running a crowdfund to get myself a new computer, and along with that I will have to upgrade my editing software. So I'm kind of looking at Final Cut Pro and Adobe Premiere Pro and seeing which one I may like to purchase. Now, as well as being incredibly accessible and providing classes on a wide range of topics, Skillshare is also extremely affordable. If you do take out an annual subscription, it does work out at less than $10 per month. However, understandably, paid subscriptions can be a big commitment, which is why I am really excited to let you know that as I am working with Skillshare to bring you this video, they have given me a link which will be down in my description box, which will get you 2 months absolutely free subscription to Skillshare Premium, which will give you unlimited access to all of the classes that Skillshare has to offer. As I said, I am a big fan of Skillshare myself, so I would obviously highly recommend that you take me up on this offer, and with a free trial you pretty much have nothing to lose. So today we are going to be doing some secondhand shopping. If you guys do end up liking this video, I will make this into a series where I visit different towns or cities around my area, or maybe outside of that if I ever go anywhere exciting, and I will be checking out their charity shops. I will be buying some books and I will be bringing them here to show to you guys. So I have set a monetary limit on this just because I want to show you how much you can really get for your money if you are secondhand or thrift shopping. So my limit is going to be £15. The reason that I have set my limit at £15 is because that is the price of a standard new hardback in the UK. Now, for a little bit of context, £15 is equivalent to around €17 and $19. So that is the amount of money that we are working with today. Now, normally when I have been going secondhand shopping recently, I have been restraining myself because I didn't have a lot of shelf space. But I have recently just moved, I freed up some space on my shelves, and so I don't need to restrict myself anymore. So I am going to aim to spend the full £15. I am going to try and obviously buy books that I'm very interested in reading, but I will be looking at books in a series that I already own because I tend to fill in the gaps with secondhand books. I will also be looking for new releases that I'm interested in, and also books that are hyped on BookTube. When I go secondhand shopping, I like to look out for the books that you guys are recommending to me that I wouldn't necessarily want to pay full price for. Now, predictions for how many books I'm going to get out of my £15. The average price of a secondhand book that I pay when I go secondhand shopping is between 50p and £3, but £3 is pretty much my limit because if we go any higher than that, then I could buy the book brand new off Amazon. So the average price for a secondhand book tends to be around £2, and there is a really good charity shop in York that all of their books are £2. But I'm going to be taking you with me. We'll be doing some vlog style footage, and then we will come back at the end of the day and I will show you all of the books that I've managed to buy with my money. Now there are a couple of reasons that I am doing this. The first one is because you guys asked me how I managed to get so many books for so little money. So this is pretty much going to be step by step how I managed to do that. The second reason is that there is a lot of talk about the amount of money that booktubers spend on books, or book bloggers, or bookstagrammers, and people think that we're really bougie and we're really fancy and we just go out there and spend a whole ton of money on books that we don't want to read and we don't really want. And there is also kind of connotations of a pressure for people who are watching us to keep up with the books that we are reading and to spend all this money on books. So I want to show you guys who don't secondhand shop the kind of things that you can find in your local charity shops for very little money. And then as well as that, of course, I will be heading into the city of York. I have picked the biggest and best place for charity shops around me. There are a couple of other towns around me that are some of the best for charity shops, and they would be Beverley and Scarborough. But I'm starting off with York because if you guys are going to visit any of the places that I'm going to be showing in these videos, then York is pretty much going to be your big daddy. It is a city, it has a lot of historical relevance, and it is an absolutely stunning place to visit. So as there is a chance that some of you guys may find yourself in York one day, I want to let you know the places you can hit up to get the best deals on books. I will also be taking my Gaston Luga backpack with me, as a good bag is a must-have for thrift shopping. This is quite a spacious bag. I can fit at least 3 hardbacks and 2 paperbacks. That's the most I've ever had in it at once. This bag was kindly sent to me by the guys over at Gaston Luga, so thank you very much for that. And if you would like to get your own handy dandy backpack to carry all of your books in, I do have a discount code for you guys. My code is THEBOOKS, and that will get you 15% off a backpack of your own. And of course, the link to the Gaston Luga website will be in my description box. So I think that is pretty much everything you need to know before we get into the meat of this video. So I'm going to head off now. I'm going to make my way to York and we are going to buy some books. Hey guys, so we made it to York. As you can see, it is a wonderful day for making this video. It is very grey and it is very rainy. I'm currently stood on top of the castle wall that goes all around the outskirts of York, and this street that you can see behind me, I will give you like a shot of it in a second, is the street where most of the charity shops in York are located. All but one are on this street. So every time I come to York, I start at this end and I make my way down. Obviously today I'm going to be taking you guys with me and we are going to see what we can find. So the street behind me is called Gudrumgate. That is where all of the charity shops are. So if you do ever find yourself in York and you are looking for all of the charity shops, they are on Gudrumgate, and that is where you're going to find your bargains. Every time I come into York, I do start on the street as it is where all the charity shops are. So we are going to be making our way down here into the centre of York and we'll see what we pick up along the way.
Split, cause I know that you will. Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you will go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no. Smells like chocolate. Hey now, think about what you do. Think about what they say. Think about what you think. Pause it, play it, pause it, play it, pause it. Dressed in black, head to toe, guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no. Building up speed as we're approaching the hill. Oh, my hair smells like chocolate.
since I got back from York, but I am here now and I'm ready to show you the books that I picked up. Now, I did not spend the full £15, I spent £13.74. I was almost there. I was only £1.25 off. And for that money, I did manage to get 6 books, which I will obviously show to you guys now. So I will be starting off with the last book I picked up. I did pick this one up from Oxman Books, and they are a little bit pricier than usual. They price their books individually. A lot of charity shops will just have a standard price for paperbacks and a standard price for hardbacks, but Oxfam do often price their books individually, and for some reason, I don't know why, fantasy always costs more. So this was my last purchase of the day, but I did have a little bit of money left over. I still have money left over, so I did decide to go for it, and this is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb, which is the second book in the Farseer trilogy. Now, I don't know too much about this, but I am very interested in Robin Hobb, and spoiler alert, I will be reading Robin Hobb starting in 2020. There will be a thing going along with that, but I will be reading Robin Hobb starting with this series. I do already own book 1, and I do own it in the same edition. This is not my preferred edition. I know Cody really likes the old edition. She really likes the old hardbacks of Robin Hobb books. I prefer the newer ones. One reason is just that these are mass market paperbacks, which makes them a little bit more awkward to read. But as it does match the book 1 that I have, I did go ahead and pick it up. I don't usually buy sequels to books that I haven't read. There are very few exceptions. Normally with high fantasy, when it is a popular and very beloved author, and I do definitely intend to read it. So that's another reason why I picked this one up. Like I said, I don't know too much about this, but this is book 2 in Robin Hobb's entire universe. I think her universe is called The Realm of the Elderlings, and this is the second Fitz book, I believe. Yes, Fitz is in this one. I don't know what that means. I just know that everybody loves Fitz, and he has at least 2 trilogies, I think. You kick off Robin Hobb's Realm of the Elderlings series straight away with Fitz's first trilogy. I don't remember exactly which shop that I got these 2 from, but I did get 2 from the same place. The first one is not for me, but it is Lifelike by J. Kristoff. Now, this was a 2018 release, so this is a pretty new book. It's young adult. I do already own a copy of this because I pre-ordered it with it being J. Kristoff, but something that I also do when I go charity shopping is if I see a hyped book like this and I know a friend who wants it but doesn't have it, then I will pick it up for them because it's a lot cheaper than buying it full price, and I know it's going to go to somebody who wants it. So Lifelike is the first book in J. Kristoff's young adult sci-fi series, and once again, don't know too much about this because I will buy a J. Kristoff book. I don't care what it's about because I know I'm going to love it, but I believe that this is a cross between Romeo and Juliet and Mad Max, and it has elements of Robot Wars in it, I think, as well. I do think that there is some sort of like robot championship competition thing in here, so that's the Robot Wars aspect. But like I said, I don't need to know too much about J. Kristoff when I'm picking up any of his books. And as I said, this is for a friend. This one will be going to Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction, and it cost me just £2. The second one also cost me £2, and that was Suicide Club by Rachel Heng. This was a 2018 release as well, I believe. I will just check that information. Yeah, so this is a 2018 release. It is an adult sci-fi, but I don't know if this has ever been sold in the sci-fi section or whether it is sold as like a literary fiction type book. This is a book that I requested an ARC of in 2018. I didn't get it because I never do, but I did request this, and that is the only reason that I recognized it. I have heard nobody talk about this book, but it did sound very interesting when I had the synopsis and I requested the ARC. Rachel Heng is a Singaporean author as well. I'm not sure if there is any Singaporean rep in here, but if there is, it will be on Voices. And all I really know about the plot of this is that it takes place in a society where there are things called lifers, and if you are a lifer, I think it's something to do with your genetic makeup, then you do have the potential to live forever, providing that you live a healthy lifestyle. So doing things like going green, being vegan, and doing yoga, things like that. And our main character is a lifer. However, she does have a brush with death, which starts to change her perspective on things and has her questioning what it really means to live. And as with Lifelike, this one cost me £2 as well. From Books for Amnesty, I think that's what the shop is called. Once again, a little bit more pricey like Oxfam Books. I picked up Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch, and this is the second book in the Gentleman Bastard series. I paid £3 for this, which is my limit for secondhand books. Most of the time, if it is a really popular book that I know I can find in charity shops, I won't pay that price for it because I know I can get it cheaper. But this is one that I do occasionally see around, but I thought that I may as well pick it up now that I have a little bit more space for it. This is a book that I have seen around, although I don't see it very often. The thing about fantasy is that I do rarely ever see it in charity shops, like standard ones. In charity bookshops I see it a little bit more frequently, and it's always a lot more expensive than normal books, and I'm not sure if that's because it's highly sought after. I don't know what it is, but I haven't seen this very often. This is, as I said, the second book in the Gentleman Bastard series, which is a very hyped series, and the first book in this series is The Lies of Loch Lamora. There are 3 books published in this series so far. I'm not sure how many are going to be published. I think it's at least 5, but I don't know if there's any more than that. And with high fantasy, as I'm sure you've noticed, I don't tend to read a whole lot into the synopsis before going into it. One of the reasons for that is that I find it very difficult to understand high fantasy synopses without any context. But what I do know about the Gentleman Bastard series is that it follows Loch Lamora, who I believe is a thief in a band of thieves, and I think they're going to be performing a heist. The second book, as you may be able to guess from the cover, does contain pirates, and that's pretty much all I can tell you. The next one was actually the first book I picked up today, and I got this from the British Heart Foundation. The British Heart Foundation is one of my favourite charity shops for books. All of their paperbacks are £2. I believe that their hardbacks are £3. And the reason that I like them so much is that I've noticed that no matter what branch of theirs I go to, they always have a ton of books. They just seem to have the best selection. I'm not sure how they distribute books, whether the ones in store are literally the ones that have just been donated to that store, but I do always find that they have the best selection. The one I picked up from there was The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton, which may be another 2018 release. I will check. Yep, 2018. And this is the author of The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender, which I have not read yet. I'm not sure if Leslie Walton has written anything else apart from The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender and this, but this was very hyped on BookTube last year because of her previous work. Once again, don't know too much about this. It is only a short one. I didn't think it would be this short, but what I do know is that this does have magical elements in it and witchcraft, and it does also contain a magic spell book. And then the last book that I picked up was the cheapest of the lot, and once again I don't quite remember which shop I got this one from, but that was The Queens of Fenburn by Kendall Blake. Once again, another 2018 release, so most of these books, aside from the high fantasy, all of these books that I got were 2018 releases. This is not a novel, this is a bind up of 2 short stories set in the Three Dark Crowns world. Once again, not a series that I've read, but I do own the first 2 books, so I will add this to the collection so it's there when I want to read it. Whenever I read a series, I do always read the novellas that go with them, and the 2 stories that are featured in this bind up are The Young Queens and The Oracle Queen. So these are the 6 books I picked up whilst secondhand book shopping in York for, I think I said £13.74, which is cheaper than the price of a new hardback at standard retail price. Cost 6 books for that, guys. 6, and usually I could get a lot more for that price, but this one and Red Seas Under Red Skies was a little bit pricey. Obviously, this is not an accurate representation exactly of what you guys would find at your local charity shops. It goes without saying, it very much depends on what has been donated and what they have, but I guess I just wanted to do this video to show you guys that you don't have to pay full price for books. I know there is a lot of discussion about consumerism in the booktube community and how booktubers can afford all of these hyped books. Honestly, I do have a lot of hyped books, and a lot of them I have bought new, but even more of them I have bought second hand. Generally, any backlist titles that are hyped on booktube that I own, I have bought second hand because there are so many books out there. I have so many books that I don't need to go to Waterstones and buy The Raven Boys. I can wait. I can wait until I find it in a charity shop, and I will read it one day, but it doesn't have to be today. So I guess I wanted to make this video to show that you can find hyped books in your charity shops. You can find brand new books. I found one of the special editions of The Dark Artifices in my charity shop. I have The Raven Boys, Ember in the Ashes, Six of Crows. I found Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. All of these are super popular books that are very popular on BookTube. You will be familiar with all of them, and I did not pay full price for those books. So that is about it for this video. Please let me know if you liked this video, whether you would like me to do any more. I do have a couple of smaller towns in the area that I know are really good for secondhand book shopping, and I would be happy to do this video again in one of those small towns. And then if you guys do like this video, then anytime I go somewhere new, I'm happy to explore the charity shops there as well, because I love secondhand book shopping. One, because books and cheap. Two, because it's like an adventure. It is so much more satisfying to go into a charity shop and find a really hyped book that you really want to read than it is to just go somewhere where you know it's going to be. It's like a treasure hunt, and I love it. I love secondhand book shopping. So yeah, please let me know if you like this video. Please let me know if you took anything of value from it. Let me know if you do shop secondhand for books, or if you don't, whether you will consider it after watching this video. Once again, a big thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and if you head into my description box, you will find a link to your 2-month free trial if you would like to try Skillshare out. You will also find a link down there to everything that I've mentioned today, any rep codes, and my Christmas iMac crowdfund. And you will of course find a link to my Goodreads, Instagram, Twitter if you'd like to follow me on any of those, as well as link to my Bookish body butter and candle website, the Instagram for that, and 10% off discount code. That's it from me today, guys. Bye.
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you're go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.